Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to go through a question that gets asked all the time, which is how do we trade adapt advanced or primarily SPX options with smaller accounts? Now, the great thing about SPX options is that they are huge and, compared to stocks at least. And what's great about that is that they're low in commissions per the amount of premium that they have in them if you're an options seller. And so that's why we really like SPX options. Now, with that said, it makes it really challenging to do that with smaller accounts, but it's really great for very large accounts because you can stay commission efficient for quite a long time. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to jump over here and you're going to see I have 4 trades on, and this is going to be a perfect example of what we're going to do today. So these are reef trades. Each one of these is a reef trade, which is a trade that we use in the Adapt Daily. And you're going to see what we're going to do is we're just going to use a combination of SPX and XSP. This is a great combination because XSP is 1/10 the size of SPX. So let's just jump right into it. By the way, this is starting out with an account that was 20,000. We've grown it a little bit. We've been doing this for a couple months now, and so we're at about 29, almost 29,000. We were just a few days ago. And so this can be done very effectively in a small account, and that's what this is for. First and foremost, we are going to jump over to the Analyze tab, and we're going to go to Add Simulated Trades. Now, I want to show how to set up a butterfly solely in Thinkorswim without the use of OptionNet Explorer or another sort of analytics software. So that way, if you're running the Adapt Daily, it could be completely free because TOS is free software, and that way it's not an extra expense, an extra $60 a month or so, whatever ONE actually costs. So let's jump over to the risk profile. And this is the first part that we need to start, right? Well, I guess the first part we need to do actually is figure out what DTE we're on, but I already kind of knew that. So the point is May 8th, 14 days from here is where we're going to set up the reef today. I already put one on today, but we're going to show this right now. So you go to the risk profile, and then right here, we know that we're looking for the 8th. So we're going to click on the 8th here on our date. It's very important that this is done because if this date is a different date, you can actually already see that our 1 standard deviations out here actually moved. So let me show you that one more time. So you can see as I change the dates, it changes where the standard deviation is. So let's just go back to the 8th. And one thing to notice that I'm just going to show here is the left side and the right side in Thinkorswim are not symmetric. So the distance between ATM and the 1 standard deviation on this right side is bigger than the distance between 1 standard deviation on this side. All of our butterflies, everything that we do is based off of the put side 1 standard deviation. So just wanted to keep that very clear so that way we know if you are trading the Adapt Daily. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at exactly where this 1 standard deviation mark is. And it looks like it's at about 49.25, but we'll round up 49.30-ish, right? It's kind of in between there. So we'll just go 49.30 is where we are. So let's jump over to Add Simulated Trades. We're going to go into the 14-day because that's where the reef is located. We're going to scroll down to ATM. And you can see here, I already set up this butterfly. It was actually really close to the end of the day, so it worked out really perfect. And we are going to set up this butterfly. Now, the one thing that I do when I'm setting up a butterfly, if I'm putting in manually or condors or verticals or anything like that, is I start off with one of the legs. And in this case, I'll start off at the ATM, which is 50.70. And we're going to go just a regular left click on the ask side. So there's a bid and an ask on this. We're going to click the buy side, which is on the ask side. And now we'll get a single down here. Now I want to make a butterfly. So what TOS has is if you hold control, every option you click from here will add it to that option as a single order. So you can make complex orders all the way up to a condor. So we're going to hit sell, sell, halfway in between our at the money and our standard deviation, just like we always do for our butterflies in Adapt Daily. And then we're going to keep holding that control, and then we're going to buy one back here on the back leg. And you can see that has made a butterfly down here on the lower side. Now it always defaults to whatever your default is, which if it's 10, if it's 1, if it's 100 or whatever. So right now this default in this account is 10. I'm going to bring this down all the way down to, well, I'll leave it at 10 for now because I'll show you something. Now, typically what we would do is we'd have one call on here per every butterfly. Now we have 54 delta on this butterfly, so we would be getting a 54 delta call or 53 delta call to normalize this. So we'd go over here to this call side, we'd look for the buy, we would not hit control this time, and we would click on the buy side. And if we go over here to risk profile now, we switch over here to risk profile. You can see here that we have a lot of calls on here. That's just because it defaulted to 10. Remember, we want one call per all of these 10 butterflies. And voila. So there we have our perfect spread that's set up for the reef. Now, this is after hours right now that I'm shooting this video, so the deltas are kind of weird and they're not quite lined up on the analytics and stuff like that. But know that that would have been pretty much flat. So what I'm going to show you now, though, is that, see, in order to do this trade, we would have to do 17,930, right? Now, that's fantastic if we're doing a $100,000 account or a $200,000 account or something like that. That's really awesome because you just have to have 1 or 2 or 10 contracts or so. But what if we're trading smaller than that? What if we're trying to do a $20,000 account, right? Well, if we need 10 to 1 on our butterflies to call ratio, what we can do is we can take off this call because we can't afford a whole call in this situation. So we'll just delete this off. And we'll take this down to, we're just going to show you all the way down to a single one, the smallest one that we can make on the SPX. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding XSP. Now, XSP is an index just like the SPX, but it's 1/10 the size. And what's really great about that, it's kind of like SPY, but SPY is an ETF and it has American style options. XSP settles in cash, which is European style options. So we don't have to deal with exercise risk and dividends and all that kind of stuff. So we can just basically do all of our jazz. So let's start doing that. We'll go up here to this box. You can just type it in up here if that works for you. If you've got it on your watch list over here, that would work as well. Right now, I'm just going to type it up here and I'm going to type in XSP. And now we're in XSP. Now you'll notice that it didn't jump off or something like that. And that's because I have something already clicked on here. And that is my portfolio beta weighted. This is a very, very, very important thing to have checked on, because if I go to single symbol, you can see all I have is just my XSP orders down here, all the calls that I'm hedging in this account, right? Well, that's not what I want. I want to be able to see the combination of trades so that way I know what a single trade is going to look like. So here's my analyzed butterfly that we had down here. I have it on portfolio beta weighted, right? Always just look at that and make sure. I do not have any analyzed calls down here, so let me just go put on the calls that I'm wanting. Now, per one butterfly in the SPX, because XSP is 1/10 the size, we need one call on XSP. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to come over here to add simulated trades and we'll get this done. We go rolling down here. I'm just going to scroll pretty quickly. And we are going to look at, so our delta right now, you can see on XSP, because that's what we're on, with that butterfly already check marked. Now, if it's not checked, you won't get this, but if it's checked, so definitely look at this little box right here. Very important. If it's checked, you'll see we have negative 54 delta. So we need a 54 delta call to match everything out. If we have delta checked right here, which you can always change that with this little box. As long as we have delta checked, we can scroll down here and look, we have a 53 delta call, which is going to be pretty freaking close. And so that is the thing that we're going to grab. Now remember, this is after hours, so it's not going to quite match up to live trading. It's just because of the time of this recording. So without hitting control or anything like that, I'm just going to come over here to the ask side, which is where you'd hit buy. By the way, if you ever forget if there's bid or ask, there's a little tiny box below the mouse that actually says buy on it or sell on it, just to help you out. So here we are, 53, and we are just going to do a regular left click on that, and you can see it added 10 calls down there, which remember is way more than we need. So I am going to reduce that down to 1 because we're simulating a single reef trade. Click over here to risk profile again, and voila, see, it looks the exact same as our SPX trade that was full sized, that was at 17,000, except look, we're only at 1,700 now. So that keeps things significantly smaller. Now, of course, if we need to go smaller than this, then we would need to go full board into XSP or full board into SPY or something like that to keep things even smaller. And of course, you can get that down very tiny. And the one thing to keep in mind with that, though, is that on this, we are having 4 contracts and a 5th contract. So we're only running 5 contracts in this. And if you're paying maybe $1 or $1.25 a contract or something like that, you can see that that's not going to cost you very much. So the commissions load is going to be very low. If you're running this all in XSP, then that's going to be a little bit different. So if we're looking for, let's say I think our reef trade right now is about 8% is what we're looking for in these profits. It changes depending on the environments, but 8% of 1,800 is $144. And so keeping that commissions really low helps out a lot. So always keep that in mind. That's why running it on the SPX with a single contract up here is so advantageous, and then just running a single call down here. So it really works well with about a $20,000, $25,000 account. Is very manageable and very doable. And even then, sometimes we can put our verticals on the SPX as well. All right, that's all I've got for today. Just wanted to help out with that and answer that question. I'll see you guys next time, and come visit us over here at etradingedge.com. Bye now.